Hi guys, it's Xenia. Welcome back to my channel. So obviously you're all reading the title and you're probably thinking to yourself, isn't this obvious? Like, did this really need to be a video? And I know at first glance this question may seem super trivial, like duh, like you just spray perfume, that's how you spray perfume. But believe it or not, there's a lot that goes behind how much perfume you spray, where and how you spray your perfume. You can really get the most or the least out of how you spray your perfume and the little tips and tricks and techniques that kind of go behind it. I really wanted to sit down and film this video mainly because this has actually been requested to me a lot, and definitely when I would get those questions I would be like, I feel like this is pretty simple, like you just spray perfumes. But then I realized that I do have some little tips and tricks that I've picked up that I didn't know when I first got into fragrance that I now know, and things that I used to do that I no longer do, and things that I didn't do that I now do. As my knowledge on fragrance has expanded, I've also learned a lot about how to get the most out of your fragrances, whether it be actual perfumes to also body sprays. Now, in this video specifically though, I'm gonna be talking just on how to spray your perfumes to get the most out of them, but I can do an entire video on how to spray your body mist because that's entirely a different topic, and body mists are a lot different to actual perfumes with their concentration. So let me know if you'd be interested in seeing that kind of video as well. So with all that being said, let's get straight into showing you all the tips and tricks and little techniques that I've picked up along the way on how to get the absolute most out of any fragrance that you have. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and turn post notifications on, and let's get started. So obviously you can take any perfume and you can do this with it and be out the door, but did you really get the most out of that perfume when you do that? Is that perfume going to last as much as you want it? Is it going to perform how you want it? Are you going to smell it all day like how you want? Honestly, probably not. Where and how you spray your perfume and how much of it you spray are detrimental to how your perfume is going to perform throughout your entire day. So I'm going to take this perfume, and I actually have no fragrance on me because I wanted to demonstrate in full how I would apply my perfume on a daily basis. And I'm going to use this Forever Mood You Remind Me perfume, which I'm obsessed with right now. You can actually check out the entire dedicated review that I just did to this fragrance, which I will link up here. This video is not about the specific perfume. You can apply these tips and tricks to any perfume that you have. I do have to let you know though that how much of this perfume you spray on does also differ based on the intensity of your perfume. Obviously, we all know that there's things like EDT, EDP, eau de cologne, and there's this very obvious range of intensity. In my experience, that doesn't always correlate to how strong a perfume is. I know you would think so because obviously eau de toilette is supposed to be a lot less concentrated, so you would think it will be a lot softer, and oftentimes it is, but sometimes I've had eau de toilettes that have been just as strong as an eau de parfum. So this is just really something that you have to gauge based off of your own nose. Like, you just smell a perfume, you know if it's strong or not, and based off of that is how you're going to apply your perfume. What I mean by this, if I have an insanely strong perfume, like let's take a perfect example, Hypnotic Poison by Dior. That is actually an EDT. It's just so intense. With a fragrance like that, I'm going to be very careful where and how much I spray that perfume because I don't want to take anybody out. With an average projection kind of scent, like I would say this one, where it's not too punchy right off the bat, I can go ahead and do literally like 10 to 15 sprays of this. I know that sounds really exaggerated, but that's how I'm going to get the most out of this. With Hypnotic Poison though, I couldn't do that because I will take somebody out and myself. So although with a fragrance like this, I'm gonna do a lot of sprays, you're gonna see me do a lot of sprays and you're probably like, girl, who are you trying to take out? But we can't use that mindset on all perfumes because not all perfumes are created equal. So although you can look at an EDT versus an EDP as a general rule of thumb for like intensity, that's not always the case. You have to use your own discernment to figure out how much of that perfume you're gonna use. So the exact places that I would spray my perfume. I start at the top of my head. I know it's really weird. And I know a lot of people will tell you, don't spray perfume on your hair. It has a lot of alcohol. It's gonna dry your hair. I spray it on my hair. I don't think it's made a difference to my hair, but to kind of counteract that, if you don't want to maybe do that, spray it first on like your comb and then brush it through your hair. That's actually also a really great way to really disperse the fragrance all over your hair because your brush will literally spread it out evenly. So that's a good way to go about it, but sometimes you're just in a rush and you just need to spray your perfume. You don't always have your brush right next to you. So as I said, I would start top of my head. Just kind of like disperses all over my head. Oh, it smells so good. Especially if you're wearing like a ponytail. If I had my hair down, I'd probably spray kind of far because I don't want to concentrate it too close to my hair because I don't want to dry it out. But I feel like if I do it far, I just get a little bit of those scent particles without the dryness. But proximity also matters when you spray your perfume, but we'll get to that. All right, hair done. This is also good if you have a tall partner because they're constantly gonna be smelling your scent up here. Moving down, the next few places I spray are kind of like right behind my ears slash back of my neck. I like this area because if you go in to hug somebody, they're gonna right away smell that. Also, your hair is gonna make them smell that because your hair just kind of like flows and really kind of disperses that scent. But at the back of my neck is an area I always like to hit. I do both sides, just like that. I used to go on my neck right here, but ever since I started getting my thyroid issues, I've mentioned a lot on my channel that I have Hashimoto's. I feel a little bit weird spraying perfume directly on like my thyroid area. It makes me feel a little weird, so I've kind of stopped spraying just right here. Instead of spraying right here, I'll spray right here, which is like right in between my chest right there, because I feel like that really holds scent, and because it's more of a hot area, it'll really disperse that scent. So I find that that's a nice place. But I will say, if you're somebody that's acne prone, don't spray any fragrance or even scented lotions on your chest. That's gonna give you body acne. Personally, I've never had an issue with that, but we know our bodies better than anybody else. So be careful with where you're spraying it on your skin. People also say, you know, don't spray perfume on your skin, just spray it on your clothes because it's too harsh and again, too much alcohol, it's gonna dry your skin and all these things. And listen, you can do that. You can spray it all over your clothes and I'm sure your scent will last. But to me, in my opinion, the beauty of every fragrance really comes through once it's sprayed on your skin, because it reacts with everybody's skin chemistry differently. When it mixes with your own skin chemistry, fragrance just gets so beautiful when it's mixed with your natural scent. It's almost like you're layering in a way because your skin already has some sort of scent to it. We all have like a natural, unique, I don't want to say like scent because we don't smell like anything, but our natural skin chemistry when mixed with perfume does something different to each fragrance that when you spray it on your clothes, you're not going to really get that. And so I personally do like to spray on my skin. I am a little bit careful, like I said. But anyways, next place that I would spray is not directly right on the wrist. I actually go a little bit more down, like about like here to like the forearm area basically, because putting perfume here, it's a pulse point, so it gets really hot and it will disperse the fragrance out nicely. But I find that this area directly right here just doesn't last that well because you're constantly washing your hands, you're doing things with your hands, and you're probably gonna just wash that fragrance out. So it's kind of pointless a little bit to put it there. Sometimes I still do, don't get me wrong, but that's just a little tip and trick that I'm gonna share with you in this video. I would go like inner elbow to right about there. Now, as far as proximity when spraying your perfume, the further you spray, the less you're gonna get out of the perfume. But you also don't wanna go like right here because then you're just gonna get liquid everywhere. Doing this is just also a little too intense and it kind of destroys the top notes that you get in that fragrance. You're just gonna get a strong, punchy alcohol scent if you literally directly spray it on like that. I would say as a general rule of thumb, do about like 3 to 6 inches away from your skin. All right, both sides done. I'm not gonna spray it on this side. I just got a new tattoo, so I'm not gonna do anything over here. I have Sanoderm on it, so it's not like it'll get in there. But anyways, this is a unique time where I'm not gonna be spraying on this side. So pretty much the upper body is done. That's all I do as far as skin spraying. I will spray on my clothes, but as far as skin, we're done with the upper body. Lower body, where I spray is back of my knees. Both the back of my knees, again, that's a hot area that I feel like disperses scent really well. And I also do both of my ankles. I just feel like spraying a little bit on your legs, whether it be the back of your knees or your ankles, as you're walking disperses that scent. And you just leave this amazing scent trail with you. Another little tip, if you're wearing a crop top and your midriff is a little exposed, spray it on your stomach because it's another sort of hot area. You're really gonna be able to smell that scent. So that's pretty much all the areas I would spray on my skin. There's this beautiful quote by Coco Chanel where she says, "A woman should spray perfume where she wants to be kissed, and I think that's beautiful. The only little thing I would pick with that is if you're spraying it like right on your neck and somebody's going to kiss your neck, it might be a little bitter and not so great tasting. But anyways, do with that what you will. I don't know, your extracurricular activities. And speaking of the wrists, also another don't do tip. I know you've probably heard this a lot, but a lot of people have been conditioned to spray their perfume and then do this. Don't do that. And the actual science behind that is if you do that, you're basically destroying the beauty of the fragrance that you get when it first opens up. You're pretty much destroying the top and the middle notes, and you're gonna just go straight to the bottom notes, which I guess isn't that big of a deal, but I personally like to get the whole fragrance experience, so just don't do that. Apart from that, it can also just distort your fragrance. It can make it smell completely different or just weird. So if that's a little habit that you have when you spray your perfumes, just try to get out of the habit of doing that. Just spray it and let it kind of evaporate on its own. I learned this off of TikTok. You get to learn a lot on TikTok if you really do your research, but when you're smelling anybody's perfume, you're pretty much smelling that perfume as it's evaporating off of their skin throughout the day. And when you go to rub like this, you're pretty much accelerating the evaporation process that would take place naturally anyways. But whereas that evaporation process will take place throughout the course of, let's say, 6 to 8 hours or whatever the performance of that perfume is, by doing this, you're speeding it up and it's not gonna last nearly as much as it would normally. You can really test this out if you put your perfume and rub it and then spray it on a different area. Just let it air dry and smell both areas. Even though you use the same exact perfume, those two areas will probably smell entirely different. This just distorts your perfume, so just don't do it. If you have to, maybe just like lightly tap, but don't even do that. Just let it air dry, okay? Generally, I like to spray my arms because your arms are one part of your body that is constantly moving as you're walking, or if you are a hand talker like me, you're constantly gonna be wafting the scent to whoever you're speaking to, so that really makes the scent project in a really beautiful way. Those are the skin areas that I would spray. And I would do that literally as I'm getting ready. Now, once my clothes are on, I just kind of go like this, generally, kind of everywhere. Again, depending on how strong your perfume is, I would definitely not do that if I was wearing a perfume like Hypnotic Poison. Let's pretend this was Hypnotic Poison. I probably wouldn't even hit all the areas on my skin that I just showed you. What I just demonstrated with how I would apply this perfume is pretty much what I would do with any average performing scent. With the scent that is especially strong, that gets decreased to literally back of the ears, a little bit on the arms and on the chest. I probably wouldn't even do legs, and I would probably just do like one spray on my actual clothes and be done with it. Even that is probably too much, but that's where I would end it with a scent like that. With an average performing scent, once I have my clothes on, then I do like 5 to 10 more sprays on my actual clothes, kind of top to bottom. Again, don't be too far, but also don't be too close to your clothes. You can also stain your clothes, especially depending on whatever color fragrance you have, so be mindful of that as well. Now, I've also mentioned this before, but you really can get the most out of your scent, not just once you actually spray the perfume, but the things that you do beforehand, like your base prep and everything. I have an entire video on specifically how to get your scents to last that goes beyond just how and where you spray your perfume, so you can check that video out. I go way into detail on a bunch of base prep that you can do, and that will also really help with how to get your scents to last forever. So you can check that video out. I will have it linked up here. That's pretty much all I have on all the little tips and tricks on how and where to spray your perfume to get the absolute most of it and how much to spray. Again, all these tips and tricks differ based on the intensity of the perfume that you are using. I demonstrated this video with an average performing scent that is average level intensity, average projection, meaning it's about 6 to 8 hours of wear. If I had a perfume that was way lighter than this one, instead of doing, I don't know, about 10 to 15 sprays that I did with this, I would do like 15 to 20, maybe even more. If I had a perfume that was way stronger than this, I would literally do like 5 sprays, maybe not even that. You smell a perfume, you see how strong it is, and based off that is how much you spray. Now, where and when to spray, I hope these tips helped you guys. Let me know if you have any more tips. I'm constantly trying to learn more about perfume. These are just the little things that I've picked up along the way in my fragrance journey, but I'm always open to learning. So if you have any more info about fragrance or where and when to spray and how much and all these things, let me know in the comments. If you have any useful, helpful tips, if you have some scientific reasonings behind those tips. I'm so interested by things like this, so let everybody and me know in the comments so we can all learn together. That is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please make sure that you're subscribed to my channel and turn your post notifications on, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!